Good day, fellow crafters. Welcome back to the Pixie Dust Designs YouTube channel. I'm Tamara, the card creator, and today we're crafting this winter-themed gift card using new dies from Pixie Dust Designs' November release. So grab your supplies and let's dive into this delightful card-making adventure. This adorable, cozy winter is so cute. You can do all types of mittens, hats, scarves, so many choices to choose here. Also, you can do this with maybe lip balm or money. There's so many options to create with this wonderful November release from Pixie Dust Designs. I start with my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cardstock. I want to make sure that everything fits perfectly. I do use this gorgeous green. It's almost like a mint green polish, just to kind of add some shine. What's Christmas or winter without a little bit of sparkle and shine? I end up doing this 3 times. Well, and you're probably saying, Tamara, why did you do it 3 times? I feel as if I want my back to be gorgeous as well as my front. I didn't want my cardstock just to be plain, so I added this gorgeous texture with the snowflake embossing die. And I decided to cut this out with the Pixie Dust Designs gift card holder. Again, this is done 3 times, although you don't see it on camera. I love that shine. Totally gets the winter vibes going in my bones. Love it. I cut out all my elements with this beautiful pink color, and the other cardstock that I use is with a light purple color. I figured that this is going to look great on that mint background that I already created. I'm organizing my pieces here so that when I decide to adhere everything, I know what piece goes with what element. For adhering each of these pieces, I use my favorite liquid glue, which is from Barely Arts. It makes adhering a breeze and gives you a slight little wiggle room should you need it to move things around. I first begin with my mittens. These mittens are so cute, and I have so many thoughts to use these mittens for other projects. Not just with the zigzag designs, but I figured, maybe some patterned paper would be really cute, or maybe some polka dots on these. I feel like there are so many things you could do with these adorable mittens. Love it. What is winter without mittens? There is just a little bit of overhang with those zigzags, but no problem. I'm going to cut that off here in just a few minutes. Now, on to my scarf. This is so easy to line up. Pixie Dust is so creative. They have little lines in your die, so when you cut, you know where everything lines up. It makes lining everything a breeze. Absolutely love this feature of Pixie Dust Designs. It's a little hard to see the difference between the pink and the purple cardstock. In real life, it's very apparent, however. But I feel as if these colors are just a beautiful feminine color, and my recipient for this is a female. Now, on to the hat. These cute little pom-poms add just that little feminine touch. I also could see these pom-poms used as small little flowers with maybe yellow Nuvo drops in the center. This would be a great accent just to kind of highlight if you had like a big, bold sentiment, just to put it around. I could totally see that. There are so many things you can do with this set. Do you ever use your set for things not intended, like the flowers? I do all the time. My mind is always going, and once I start creating, I think of so many other things I could create with this project. Adhering those little strings to the hat, it totally gives this hat just a new element. I love it. It reminds me of a kid. As promised, I do trim off the excess, and I only am doing the zigzag lines. I'm not doing the top layer of my mitten because I definitely want that to have a little bit of an overhang on that. When you die cut your pieces, it does have these little imprints that the dies put in just to add more texture and design. On my cardstock that I used, it's actually a little hard to see. So I have this shiny, dark gray gel pen. I decide that I want to accent these lines a little bit more. This is sparkly. You can't really see it on camera, but it is a sparkly gel pen. And it adds just that extra little touch just to highlight those areas. This is not needed, but for me, I kind of felt with my cardstock, they got a little bit lost, and I always like a little bit of shine. It does take just a moment to do, but I kind of feel like little touches like this bring your creative picture to life and creates more dimension as well as texture as well. For the mittens, I do decide to adhere them to the little bow. This is not required, but I kind of felt like it just kind of added that little soft touch. Again, this is going to a female recipient, so I thought it makes it a little more girly. What girl does not like ribbons and bows, right? Playing around with my placement, I could not decide what I wanted to do here. I knew all three of my elements were not going to fit on this. So I played around quite a bit for this, although part of this is going to be cut off, for the sake of the camera. Now, on to the back. As I mentioned earlier, I did the polishing paste on 3 different cardstocks, just so that my back could be finished. I didn't want to have just white showing on the back. I adhere this with liquid glue. It does take a few minutes to dry just because that paper is kind of thick, but after it is dry, I do use the center die cut to cut out my center. When you cut it out, you do get a square stitched border, and I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to use that stitched border or not. I play around with it a little bit, but truth be told, I could not get it to fit on top of my plastic correctly. I think it was just the way I had cut it. I was a little off on my cutting, and I just could not get it to line right. So I ultimately do not use the stitch, but it is there as an option. For my plastic piece, I do adhere this with tape adhesive versus my liquid glue that I normally use. I knew that the liquid glue would take forever to dry with that plastic, but the strip adhesive makes it so much easier and quicker. When you have your plastic piece like this, these are great stocking stuffers. So you could put chapstick, you could put money. I've also seen for like an ocean scene, somebody using sea and tiny shells. It's kind of a cool concept that what you could put in this little plastic piece just to kind of give somebody a smile. And that's what this world needs, is more love and joy. For this recipient, I'm going to just use some lip balm. I'm deciding here how I'm going to adhere this. And out comes the adhesive strips again. I use this to adhere it temporarily. I am going to cover this, though, with the last piece of the mint background. But so that the lip balm stays intact, I have to have something there. Now, the pull strip, I could have cut it out of that third piece of the mint. And I'm kind of debating here whether to do that or not, just playing around with the pieces. If I had to do this again, I would have done the pull strip on that third piece versus having my extra piece for the pull strip, which I adhere later on. And here I adhere that. It is going to be lined up perfectly, so when you pull it, you can get the lip balm out. You can feel right where the lines are. I did center that over it. I use my reverse tweezers to make sure everything is adhered. You can feel a little bit of bulge with the lip balm, and I don't want it to bust out. So I want to make sure it is adhered very, very well. With my printer, I wanted my sentiment to be foiled, so I printed it with bold lettering and foiled it with wild cherry deco foil. This wild cherry matches my pink cardstock beautifully. And my sentiment says, "You are the balm in my life." And I figured that is absolutely so perfect for lip balm. Whenever I am using the foiling system, I always run it through twice, although you don't see the second time on camera. I'm not sure if this is necessary, but I personally just always have done it, just to make sure I have great coverage. Now, on to adhering my sentiment. Still playing around with placement. I still don't know what I want to do here. Out of the 3 elements, what would you have chosen? Obviously, I ended up choosing the hat to go on the front and then the mittens to go on the back. What would you have chosen? And when you turn it in the light, you can definitely see the shine from that background and then those little snowflakes. It just adds the finishing touches to this beautiful stocking stuffer set. If this video inspired you, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more creative tips, design inspiration, and fun projects. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you'll always be the first to know when new content drops. Thanks so much for crafting with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.